Hello and welcome into this week's edition of Your Next Favorite Driver right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, consider going down below to hit that subscribe button. It is free to do. The quicker we get to 1,000 subscribers, the quicker YouTube will let us do mobile live streaming, which will vastly improve both the quality and quantity of coverage we're able to give you when we get back to the track. Alright, so this week on Your Next Favorite Driver, we're talking to someone that we've had on the channel a lot here recently. He's won a lot of races recently. He won the ARCA Series East Championship this year for the second year in a row, as well as the Sioux Chief Showdown Championship. We're talking about Sam Mayer, and this is a guy that, like I said, we've had him on the channel a lot recently. We've talked about the dominance that he has had on track, everything that he has won, from races to championships to the Sioux Chief Showdown, everything in between. We've talked about that, but today, you know what to expect on Your Next Favorite Driver. We're going to get to know Sam on a little bit more of a personal level, get to know the guy behind the driver that you see on the track, and get to know more of the person that is Sam Mayer. And we'll get to know his racing background and that sort of thing as well. You know what to expect at this point if you've seen Your Next Favorite Driver before. So, without further ado, let's head over to that interview and get to know Sam Mayer. And we're now joined by driver for GMS Racing and soon to be Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series, Sam Mayer, current ARCA East and Sioux Chief Showdown champion. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great today, having a lazy day and just hanging out.
Those are some of the best days. So, let's just get started here. The point of this is to get to know you for fans that may not know you more than what they've seen from you do on the track. So let's get into that. And we'll start off with, first off, how did you get started in racing? What drew you to motorsports as a career path?
Yeah, so I've always had a steering wheel in my hand. I mean, I drove like a little toy Corvette car around my driveway when I was like 2 years old, so I've always been doing something. But really, my dad raced IndyCar from 2003 to 2005, which was around the time when I was born. So I really didn't pay attention too much, but I knew that he was always gone on the weekends. So I was always wondering where he went. And he told me about it when I grew up a little bit, and told me that he raced IndyCar, and I was like, wow, I want to do that. So I originally wanted to go IndyCar racing, but somewhere along the line, I went to the stock car side of things. And I mean, that's evidently what got me into it is just my dad racing, and I got in a go-kart when I was 4 years old, and I've been doing it ever since.
So what changed your mind then to switch from IndyCar to stock cars?
Honestly, all of us don't know. None of us have any idea of what happened or when it happened, but just one day I was like, I'd rather go NASCAR racing, and we made it happen. My dad changed pretty much all of his plans to go find someone in Charlotte that he could trust, and we ended up finding Lauren Rainier, and that's really what took our career off is we got with him, and he put us with a bunch of great teams and great people behind me, and that's evidently what got me here today.
Well, talk about Lauren Rainier. You mentioned him. He seems to be very instrumental in developing a lot of young talent such as yourself. What has he meant to progressing your career?
Yeah, I mean, he means a lot to a lot of us young guys that don't have a whole lot of say in the world right now and in our careers anyway. And he's like really good at what he does in finding rides, and he has a lot of connections and knows a lot of people, so that helps a lot. But I mean, I've really leaned on him as like a kind of a mentor these last couple of years because he knows so much about the sport and all the ways to drive these race cars. And even though he's never done it, he knows a lot about it, so I trust him a lot, and it's definitely paying off. And I mean, just these last couple of years with him is it's been a great journey so far, and we've made it a lot faster than we thought we would. I mean, heck, we're running for Junior Motorsports next year, so it's obviously working out great.
So who was your favorite driver growing up?
Growing up, I really didn't watch racing all that much. I mean, I was always busy doing my go-kart races on the weekend. So once I started watching NASCAR races, probably back in 2015 or so, I would say Carl Edwards back then. But now I would say, I can say this because Larson's reinstated, but I would say Kyle Larson is my favorite.
There you go. Some good choices there. What's your favorite track so far? This can be one that you've raced on or that you want to race on.
Yeah, I mean, that I've raced on, I would say either Dover or Bristol. for obvious
Yeah,
reasons.
that was pretty obvious.
But I mean, Martinsville is also a good one that I've raced on. I mean, it's hard to choose a favorite because they're all so different and they're all fun in their own ways. I mean, Martinsville's, you're always beating and banging, and that's what I love about racing. And Bristol, you're going fast and turning left nonstop, and Dover, you're just going fast. So it's they're all different, but they're also fun. And one track I wish I would have been able to race is Auto Club. I always like when I first started watching NASCAR, I was like, oh, I can't race to race on this racetrack, and I actually can't do that. So it's kind of unfortunate, but it's how the life rolls, I guess.
Yeah, you're not gonna be old enough to do that race this year, are you?
Nope, unfortunately not.
Man, so close to it, and you're just not gonna get the chance to.
And 1 year.
Yeah, exactly. So what's your most memorable moment you've had in your career thus far? You've accomplished a lot here in a very short period of time. What stands out to you as the most memorable moment?
Man, that's tough. Probably that truck win would be the most memorable, just because of how much following I gained and how much respect I gained, and all the positives that came out of it. I mean, besides the fact that I am now a NASCAR Truck Series winner, but I mean, Martinsville from last year in the truck when I won that first stage, that was pretty memorable because I think that we're going to win Martinsville this year too. So it's kind of like foreshadowing of what we're doing. So, I mean, just all that, like the big moments in the truck series have probably been the most memorable to me so far.
Okay. So, is there any kind of a story behind how you got hooked up with GMS? Because I know you've not always been with GMS. You started off there in a Jefferson Pitts car, and then at MDM for a little bit. So how'd you end up at GMS? And maybe it's the same story as to how you ended up at Junior Motorsports now.
Yeah, I mean, being part of the Team Chevy Driver's Edge Development Program has definitely helped me a lot because that was helped by Lauren Renier. So he's done yet another thing for my career. And I mean, having that deal and having all these Chevy people behind me and supporting me and getting me all these top tier rides is something very important to me because I want to perform, and you need a lot of different resources to do that. So getting with GMS is definitely a big deal. And I mean, I can't thank all the Team Chevy and Driver's Edge Development Program guys because they did that and put that together. Because I ran late models for JRM back in 2018, and 2019, 2020 I was with GMS, and now in 2021 I'm back over at Junior Motorsports. So it proves that it's working and that it's doing as it's intended to do. And I'm kind of the first person to go through most of the steps through the program and up to the Xfinity Series.
So let's talk about your crew chief, Marty Lindley. You obviously have a very strong connection with him. You brought him over with you from your time at MDM, and now you've had so much success with him at GMS. How much would you say he has contributed to your success so far?
I would say more than what I've done. I mean, he knows exactly what to do, when to do it. I mean, he knows pretty much everything about these race cars. And the funny thing is he's constantly learning. I mean, we are better than we were back when we won the championship last year, and we kicked butt last year. So it's they're constantly learning, finding ways to make the cars just a little bit faster, and they're doing a great job. And especially Marty on top of the pit box during these races, trying to call like the Truck Series races last year. I mean, we got a stage win in the Truck Series at Martinsville race last year because of his awesome pit strategy, and we are actually probably going to win that race too with him. So unfortunately we didn't. I wish we would have, because that would have been huge for him and even bigger for me to be the youngest winner. But I mean, we got a Truck Series race win this year and a lot of success with Marty this year. So thankful for him and all he's done for me.
So this might seem like a pretty obvious answer here, because I think I know where you're probably going to go with this one, but what's your ultimate goal in racing? What do you want to say you've done once your career is over?
I tweeted out a couple days ago that I want to be the Truck Series or the Cup Series 2026 champion, and I kind of got like that idea of like I want to be or I'm going to be, and I really don't know which one to choose, and I ended up choosing I'm going to be. So I pretty much called my shot, and I'm going to call it. And I want to be the 2026 Cup Series champion. And from then on, I want to win races. I want to win more championships. I want to be one of the greatest. I mean, obviously that's anyone's goal that steps foot in a race car. But I feel like I have a lot of good people around me that can make me do it. And that, I'm experienced enough to now say that I think I can do it. So that's pretty much what I want to do.
Nice. So if you weren't racing, what would you be doing? What do you feel you have the skill set to do if for whatever reason racing wouldn't work out for you?
I've always been into football and basketball. I mean, playing them. I mean, I wouldn't really watch them, to be honest with you, but I would play. Like back in like middle school, I would always play football, and I would be like one of the best people that would play. And basketball as well, I was pretty decent at that too. I just never gave time and effort into it because I was always racing. But I feel like those two sports were kind of like my forte almost, like if it was like a normal sport, like every other day sport. But NASCAR just kind of called me out and said, you're going to be one of the best here too.
Nice. So if you could pick any one driver in NASCAR history to 1v1 against, who would it be and why? And there's a lot of different directions you could go with this. This could be somebody you have a lot of respect for and you want to learn something from, somebody you hated and you just wanted to beat them. Who would that be for you?
Man, that's a great question. There's like 5 that immediately came to my head. Carl, he was pretty respectable, and I respected him a lot, like as a race car driver. But I feel like Jimmy was just a little bit better. I feel like if we put ourselves in a 2015 Cup car and we went out there in 1v1, I think that'd be pretty fun. I would learn a lot from him because he's one of the best to race those at that time. So, yeah, I'd say Jimmy Johnson in the 2015 Cup car.
Nice. Solid choice. Now, what's one interesting thing about you that nobody knows, or maybe not a lot of people know?
I'm really into video games, as a lot of people probably are. But I love any type of video game, whether it's like a first-person shooter, or iRacing, or anything like that. So I love to play my video games, especially now that Among Us is trending. I've been doing a lot of that with my fans, so that's pretty fun to do. And I'm actually in like an hour. I was gonna do a couple of games of Among Us with all my fans. So it's pretty cool to do that because it's a game where it's easy to interact with all your fans and talk with them and hang out. So it's cool to do that through video games.
Nice. You need to come over and play Among Us with me. I've been doing it like once a week on my personal channel.
Heck yeah.
Definitely. All right. So last thing here before we wrap up. We're going to play some This or That. You ever played This or That before?
Okay, let's do it.
So, I'm going to throw you a softball here for the first one. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Wait.
Definitely. Road course or oval?
Road course, all the way. I mean, I grew up doing road courses, so that's my favorite.
Nice. Let's see. Passenger or driver?
In what? Is it like a passenger car or like a race car?
Passenger car.
Passenger.
Okay. Let's see. Xbox or PlayStation?
Ooh. I prefer not to say.
Oh, okay. Football or basketball?
Ooh, football. Yeah.
Okay. Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Okay. TV show or movie?
I don't watch enough TV to say, so I'm going to say movie.
Okay, fair enough. And then let's see, last one. Work at SpaceX or Google?
I'll say Google, because I love technology like that.
Okay, nice. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for today. I think you mentioned the last time we talked, you've still got, you're going to be at Phoenix for ARCA West, and you got a couple truck races left. Where all exactly can people see you for the rest of the year? Is that all the races you got left this year?
Yeah, I only got 3 weekends left. I got Martinsville in the truck, and then Phoenix in the truck and the ARCA car. And then I also got the Trans Am car at Laguna Seca in December. So I'm really excited for that deal because I've never been there, but we're really fast on the Trans Am car. So it should be a good rest of the year because we're going to tracks that I like and in a car that I like at Laguna.
Nice. So where can people find you on social media or website or wherever they can find you online?
Yeah, like the easiest way to find me, whether it be all my socials or anything, is my website at samaracing.com. And you can find all my socials there and through that. So that'd be the best place to go.
All right. Well, that is Sam Mayer. We told you where you could see him on track for the rest of the season. That is your ARCA East champion. So, Sam, thanks for joining us today. Hopefully, we gained you a few more fans today from getting to know you a little bit off the track as well.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And we want to thank Sam again for joining us today. Always a pleasure to talk to him and to get to know him as we did today on YNFD. But I think that'll do it for today's show. Do apologize for missing the NASCAR Heat 5 stream yesterday. We'll make up for that tomorrow night on Friday night, about the normal time that we have been doing them, around 9 p.m. Eastern. So keep an eye out for that and come hang out with us as we continue to progress through that career mode. No ARCA races this weekend, so there shouldn't be any rewind shows. I wouldn't expect any, I'll put it that way. The West Series Championship race will be November 7th, Phoenix Raceway, the same weekend. The top 3 series crown their champions, so we will have a rewind show and a watch party for that day, so come on out for that. The watch parties are always fun to hang out in. If you're not doing it already, you need to be. They are a blast. We just watch the race together, talk about the race, and whatever other topics come up during that time. As always, we want to thank our Patreon supporter, Regional Manager William Holmes. Thank you as always for your support. It is greatly appreciated. If you would like to be a patron of RNN, the link is down below in the description, patreon.com/racingnewsnow. Not required by any means, but it is definitely appreciated when you want to support RNN in that way. But I think that's going to about do it for us for this week's episode of Your Next Favorite Driver. As always, I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.